Hi everybody, Natasha Koch here with the Van City Home Team, and here we are on our Mortgage and Market Update Weekly. Happy Tuesday, everybody. So, if you remember this photo, anybody can guess which area we're doing a market update this week? Nobody's guessing my photos. And actually, you should have a little bit of history because it's very, very interesting. So I'm going to post a link. This week we're doing Maple Ridge, and this is the Haney House. So Thomas Haney, actually in 1879, bought 160 acres of land in Maple Ridge. It was called Wickwire Landing, and Wickwire Estate is where the Haney House actually is in now, and is also the museum in Maple Ridge. Did I mention that he paid $1,000 for it? 160 acres for $1,000. Crazy, but of course it was 1879. Anyway, it was renamed Haney's Landing, so anybody that is familiar with Haney's Landing, that was Wickwire Landing previous. So I'm going to post a link to the Maple Ridge Museum. You could read all about Thomas Haney and his wife, and how he contributed, and all about his history, as well as some of the other exhibits that are at the museum. And so let's jump into housing prices in Maple Ridge. So Maple Ridge, those of you that don't know, is not part of the Fraser Valley. It's actually considered Greater Vancouver, although you do need to travel a little bit of a distance to get there. The average house price is a little less than Vancouver, so the overall general average is $735,000. It's on the climb, so those of you that think that the market's slowing down, it's definitely not in Maple Ridge. Over the past year, it's had a 15% increase in change. So let's go through what you can get. Detached house, 3-bedroom. In June, $869,000. That's up 4% from the past 3 months. A year ago, it was at $835K. 4-bedroom, $1 million. So you can get a 4-bedroom house in Maple Ridge for $1 million, but that's up almost 20%. Last year, you could have got it for $869,000. We won't go into 5 and plus bedrooms, but they are available, and they're probably more plentiful than they are in Vancouver, because there are some larger homes there. So housing inventory in the last 28 days, there's been 330 listings. 110 of those have sold. Average days that they're on the market is 24, and the list to selling ratio is 99%. So super active market. If you're looking to sell your house in Vancouver and maybe downsize or upsize, you can definitely get lots of bang for your buck in Maple Ridge. So let's go into the condo and townhouse market. There's actually lots of townhouses in Maple Ridge. They are up as far as pricing as well. So 2 bedrooms are up 33%. There were 8 new listings, and they all sold actually. And 3-bedroom, there were 55 listings, and they're up 17% as well. So those are the townhouses. Condos, there's actually not as many condo developments, but there are some really nice ones. 2-bedroom up 44%, 49 new listings in the last 28 days, and 3 bedrooms are up 20%. There were only 4 of those. So 3 bedrooms are hard to find in general. But there is your overview of Maple Ridge. So if you're thinking about jumping into a little bit more of an affordable market, might be Maple Ridge, but still part of the Greater Vancouver area. So now we'll jump into our mortgage update with Jessie Lavoie with Dominion Lending. She'll tell us what's happening in mortgage land. I know the interest rates are really good right now. And next week, if you can guess what this photo is, you will know where we're headed next week. I'll give you a little bit of a hint. It is in the Greater Vancouver area. And if you have ever spent time here, you'll know right away by the picture. And so we'll see everybody next week for our mortgage and market update. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Jessie Lavoie here with Dominion Lending Centers for your mortgage and market update. So today I want to chat with you about refinancing and when does it make sense to refinance. So you likely have seen interest rates are at historic low. So naturally, I'm getting questions daily on if it makes sense to break your current mortgage, your existing term, and refinance it into a new mortgage. Oftentimes, that's a very wise, financially sound decision, but we have to ensure we're looking at the bigger picture. So we need to look at your total costs incurred, what your plans are for the next 5 years, and if you need to pull out any extra cash or any extra funds from your equity. So, number one, what are our costs incurred? So are you at your renewal or are you within your term? If you're within your term, you'll definitely have a penalty to break that mortgage. Now, the penalty is very dependent on who your existing lender is, what your current interest rate is, and how long you have remaining on your term. So we would have to calculate that and see what that exact cost is. Number two is we would have legal fees. We would have legal fees to register the new mortgage at the lawyer or notary. So that varies. That's usually around $1,000 to $1,500. We can estimate that for sure. So we need to look at what is that total cost compared to your savings. If we're refinancing strictly for savings, strictly for interest rate savings, the rule of thumb is we would like your interest rate to be at least 1% lower than what you're currently paying to be able to recoup those closing costs, to make those savings worth it. Now, of course, we would do the exact calculation, but there's things we can do to set yourself up better in the future. So we want to look at if we're refinancing you and we are just doing a dollar for dollar refinance, we're just paying out your exact mortgage amount, can we now look at lowering your amortization? So if you're currently on a 25-year amortization, can we now lower that to 20 years? Is that payment comfortable for you with that extra savings on a monthly basis? So we really have to look at the bigger picture. We also want to look at what are your plans for this property? So do you intend on being there for the next 5 to 10 years? Or is this a stepping stone property? You only anticipate you will be there for a year, 2 years, maybe 3. If that's the case, we definitely do not want to refinance right now. You won't be there long enough to recoup those savings, to recoup those costs, to recoup the closing costs. So in that case, we wouldn't want to refinance. But if this is a long-term home, it's definitely something we want to consider. Right now, if your interest rate is above 3%, anywhere above 3%, a year ago today, interest rates were sitting just above 3%. If we look back at, say, 2016, early 2017, interest rates were almost at 4%. So if you are anywhere above 3%, it's definitely worth the conversation and seeing exactly what those costs are and compare it to your savings. There's also the option of debt consolidation. So have you incurred credit card debt, line of credit debt, or student loan debt that it may make sense to roll into your mortgage? If you have a credit card that has a $20,000 balance and the interest rate is at 19%, then absolutely it can make sense to refinance that and roll it into your mortgage. Now, what I think is really important in this case, and I always aim to do with all of my clients, is we don't want to set you back. We want to ensure that whatever budget we are doing for you, we are keeping you on the same amortization schedule, if at all possible. Sometimes it's not, but if we can, especially if we're doing a debt consolidation, we want to try and keep you on the same amortization schedule. So we look at what are your monthly costs for your existing mortgage? And then what are your monthly costs for all of your current liabilities to give us a gross annual cost? Then we would look at, if we roll that debt into your mortgage, can we keep you on the same amortization schedule or even drop it? So drop you from, say, a 25-year to a 20-year, or from a 30-year to a 25-year, and keep your monthly cost relatively the same. So then you would have no outstanding liabilities outside of your mortgage. And now there's other strategies you can do to pay your mortgage down quicker. So we really want to look at the bigger picture. We don't want to just look at the interest rate. It really is about the bigger picture. And then lastly, do you want to pull some of your equity out for investing? Now, I am seeing that very, very often right now. We have a lot of clients that are pulling equity from their home, transferring that equity to a new rental property. The rental market is so strong right now. We would do a complete analysis and look at the cost as well as the income coming in. So it's very possible that you're walking away even. You're breaking even on that rental property. But the difference is that someone's paying that mortgage. So you have that equity building over the term. If any of these scenarios are suited to you and you have questions on your specific scenario, of course, feel free to reach out to me. I hope you all have a really great day.